About 3 months ago, Bernie Sanders made the statement about it being 492 billionaires and 16 million in poverty. You know, do we think it's fair? Of course not. However, through government theft called taxation and charity for programs, the poor have actually gotten poorer. When government takes our dollars to do something that individuals know how to do better, the individuals stop taking care of their brothers and sisters because government has inserted itself into the charity business. We also have to look at our upbringing and our thought process. For me, I was taught all of my childhood that certain people were evil, namely the rich. I was told to never try to be rich because they had too many problems. Can you show me a poor person that doesn't have problems? I was told when I started to talk about wanting to go into business for myself to get my college degree first in case my business failed. That's programming me for failure. It would give me something to fall back on. I think it's best when we don't have a plan B. I've seen a lot of people, they'll quit one company for one reason or another to go work at a new company, and then 2, 3, 4 months later they're back at the old company. You left that company for a reason. I don't believe in 2 weeks notice. We either sink or swim. My wife and I went to look at a house that was about $500,000. I shared that with somebody in my family that's very close to me. And very close. And the question I was asked is, why would you need a house that costs that much money? When we've been programmed like this throughout our entire life, how can we alleviate this when our brains have been tampered with when they were the most impressionable? It takes a lot to undo some of that damage. Some of it just can't be avoided. However, if we continue to teach poverty subconsciously and consciously, how do we ever expect to succeed? Our poverty mindset, especially in the black community, comes in large part from us having a need to show that we are successful. We take our paycheck and we spend it on clothes, we spend it on jewelry, we spend it on tricked out vehicles and entertainment. When will we have a core group of people teaching our youth about investing in business ownership? Now the amazing thing is the same family member who always talked about being rich was evil was the exact same family member who was hoping I got drafted by the NFL out of college to provide a better lifestyle. Our whole identity is wrapped up in sports and not business. Every year I read the black spending power numbers. Guess what category decreases in spending each and every year and has for the last decade? Spending on books. One day I took one of my cousins to the local Ferrari dealership. I asked him did he notice something about the Ferrari, and he didn't understand what I was asking. I told him, when you buy a vehicle like this, you don't need to put rims on it because everyone knows you have money. You don't have to put rims on a vehicle to look rich. When I took economics in high school, we had a week learning about investing. When I took it in college, we didn't even talk about it. You will notice that these politicians never come out collectively to change anything. It is always one talking about an issue, and that one is normally standing by himself. And it's the one that they prop up in front of you for the moment. But one thing I want you to notice, you've never heard of any of them turning down a raise when they vote to give themselves a raise. And you heard I said they vote to give themselves a raise. I've never heard any of them say, let's give the money we would make on a raise to the impoverished. The last president and the current president gave our dollars to corporations who turned around and sat on those dollars and gave themselves bonuses with the bailouts that were well over $1.4 trillion. And the majority of both houses supported both of these bailouts. If they wanted to stimulate the economy, and I mean really stimulate it, they could have given about $1 million to each taxpayer. People would pay off their homes, they would pay off their cars, they would pay off their credit cards, and they would pay off their student loans. Now, guess what would happen with that scenario? All major industries would then be stimulated and bailed out. Mortgage industry, auto industry, banking industry, they'd all be in a better financial position. Not to mention the amount of taxes that would have went right back into the system. But the Senate and the Congress went with it because they're the ones who really don't care about the people. They each make a minimum of $175,000 a year for showing up to work 6 months out of the year, to say they don't even have time to read the bills that they pass or meet with the people that they supposedly represent. Let's rein in all of this foreign support and take care of our people first. The reason they don't do it is because they don't care.